and welcome to Universal Orlando Resort. What happens when you get a Canadian in Florida in October? I'm shiny. Yeah, it's crazy humid here. It's shocking that there's people even with jackets on. As you can see, it's crazy busy in tonight's event. Even though it's on a Thursday, it is Halloween weekend, and it is busy. So I probably won't be messing around with this event. Universal, you always get me with these speed passes. It looks like I'm going to be got by that again. Universal Japan was the last Universal park that I went to, and I spent a fortune on those rides or on the speed pass at that particular park. This is a different situation. I want to get in every scare maze, and there's a couple of attractions that I've never done here before because it's been almost 25 years since I've been here. So, that taken into account, we'll assess what it's like inside and see if I can get on everything that I want to at least once today. There's a ridiculous amount of haunted houses at this event, 9 in total, plus 6 odd scare zones, if I have that right. Anyhow, I'm out of breath because I was trying to get here as fast as I can. Who knows, we might have other vlogger cameos in this particular episode of First Drop. Let's hope so. It's Hollywood Horror Nights, my first ever. So excited. Let's check it out. Fully back into the atmosphere of what a haunt is that's busy. This is the busiest that I've seen one all year, for obvious reasons, being trapped in Canada where we have all these restrictions. There's nobody here in a mask because we're vaccinated, right? We didn't really get checked. I'll just say that much. Gotta love Florida. Hopefully I'll be able to get home. Maybe I'll just stay here and enjoy more of Universal if I don't get everything in tonight. Transformers are on less than a half an hour wait, and the event's been open for an hour and a half since I'm going to be here till 2 a.m. But we're in the mix now. It's time for some horror. At the best scare event of all time. Already, baby. Hello.
Something you time. Something you time.
Behind me. I just did it twice because the one benefit of being at this park right now is that single rider friendly and the line is managed, so I literally just walked on for 2 rides in a row in 10 minutes. Really kind of good ride, not anything different than what I expected, to be honest. It's a good, decent ride, way better than Hollywood Dream in Osaka, I'll say that much. And also it's not as underwhelming as some people thought, like or has said in other vlogs that I've seen. I definitely enjoyed the second half or the last portion of that helix and all the G-forces that you got. Oddly enough, not much airtime on the actual hills, probably because of the size of the train. A good ride, excellent ride at Universal. It looks amazing at night. The station and how it interacts actually with the park on that side. High marks. So if you do have a chance, definitely get a night ride on this ride. I'd say it's probably more impressive than in the day. All right, because of that experience, I'm gonna change things up, and I don't think I'm actually gonna go into any houses right off the bat because the lineups are pretty long. There's about an hour wait for Rip Ride Rocket. I feel that around midnight, there's not gonna be that many people here. So that being said, we're probably gonna have very little lines in the scare mazes at that point. Haunted houses, whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to take the risk. Last time at Universal I didn't and I regretted it, so this time I'm going to do so. And I'm going to get the rides in first, and then we're going to move on to the other experiences. off filming for a bit so that way I can take in the atmosphere. But before I do, I'm going to do Revenge of the Mummy first, and then continue on down this amazing scare zone. Okay, just got out of the Mummy. I got the mask on for a reason, and the reason is because I'm not convinced everybody here is double vaccinated, and I got a guy in the car beside me, if you can hear me, that was coughing the entire ride and in the line behind me. I was praying that he wouldn't end up actually in the same train as me, but of course he did. And yeah, so this is on. I'll take it off for now, just to make that point. Also, Revenge of the Q cheats, because the single ride line, I think, was actually longer than what the actual regular line is. So yeah, but it's understandable because that ride was phenomenal. I'm blown away, actually. I can't believe it's taken me that long to be on that, to have that experience. Last time I was in there, it was King Kong, and yeah, it was phenomenal. I was kind of really blown away by that. It's an older attraction, but it still packs quite a bunch as far as thematics and the interactivity with that roller coaster. Second to none. Better than Space Mountain as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Wobbly Wife, one of my favorite indoor coasters of all time. All right, I gotta get some food because I am malnourished, and I'll get out of this scare zone. But let's do a little bit of a tour on the other side of the park now. I've only been here for an hour still, and I've already got 3 rides in. We're gonna go through another scare zone though, my second last one. As you just saw footage from the thrill show on the lake, sorry, don't have the title. I'm taking it all in. It's taking I'm just shocked, I don't know. It's just so good. The atmosphere is amazing. Even the people here are awesome too. Other than some minor interactions earlier on, nothing too negative though. Let's go back in and then I'm gonna do a couple of rides. I'm gonna go on Transformers next and then try to get on Gringotts, which had the longest wait. But I'll probably get on it pretty fast because of the single ride situation. And then some houses finally. I don't know if I'm gonna get them all in today because I've chosen not to take the fast pass option. But we'll see how it goes. A lot of them, the newer ones, I can skip and maybe wait till the next time I'm here. But the price point for the fast pass, it's just too high considering how many parks I'm gonna be doing on this trip. Got it to be for sure, but let's not say that's gonna be the case I'm just doing a loop around of where I originally was to start the day. My original incident that was off camera. Still didn't spill that drink. And the line for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is much lighter than it was before. So we're gonna go in there right now, and we're gonna just take it. I've heard it's one of the better mazes, so we might as well get that done now, and then do some of the shorter lines after that. I'm not too worried about the rides. I'm pretty sure I'll get the last two that I need to get in before I get out of here as well. The best part about this too is that if I wanted to go on Rip Ride Rocket again, I know that once I get out of here, I can go on it really quick. Only in a single rider situation, obviously. The Bride of Frankenstein. That is next door, which I might do first before doing Transformers. It's it's a little random, obviously, but hopefully I'm not making the wrong decision, and I'm gonna get into all the haunts. Stay tuned. Frankenstein, a classic one here at Universal. Gotta call out Universal on those wait times because it took 20 minutes to do the whole maze plus the wait when it's posted as a 35-minute wait. So not exactly genuine. It's a $200 fast pass, American, to actually skip the lines one time. Oh, Universal, I know what you're up to. I'm not taking that risk. 1 down, 8 to go. I've just also did behind me Transformers the ride for the very first time. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed. I never really, the very first time I did Spider-Man on the other side of the lot, I wasn't as impressed with it as I thought I would have been. This is kind of a cool shot of the opposite side of this water show. The one thing I liked about Spider-Man more is the fact that for some of the natural or practical set pieces interacted better with the vehicle than on that ride, which for me just felt like just a bunch of screens, so I was really just watching a D-Box presentation of Transformers. It was decent, but yeah, I don't think I'll do it again. Not for a long time, that's for sure. It's not really, it was a walk-on regardless, and it has been pretty much all day, so if I fancy it and have the time, I will. I only have one major attraction left to do, which I'm headed for now, which is Gringotts. Kind of looking forward to this because Magical Journey, or Magical Voyage, I'm not entirely sure. I'm sorry, Harry Potter fans. But regardless, that ride blew me away in Japan. I haven't been on the one here, but that will change, obviously, by the end of this weekend. But Gringotts, I've heard some good things about. Some people prefer it over Forbidden Voyage. I'm going to call it 17 different things. But yeah, we'll see. It's obviously a coaster, so it probably will resonate a bit more. But I've been surprised by a lot of things with the attractions here so far, including the Mummy, which I definitely, of all the rides, I really, really wanted to get on again. I've already had Rip Ride Rocket twice, as mentioned, so here we go. Let's do another scare maze through. Hello. I love your prize. Nice present. I will also say I'm really a big fan of how this park is run, just from like a management and personnel level. They do all applaud you when you return from your respective rides if you're doing a major attraction. They don't in the houses. I didn't really review the Bride of Frankenstein, which was really impressive. Crazy set pieces. I am not shooting, obviously, anything in-house or in the houses. Maybe one day I'll be invited to do so on those media nights that so much coverage of that does get, covered. It's late. I got on an early flight. Sorry. It's always a theme with the channel. But we're here now. We're going to get on Gringotts, get this out of the way. Dragon Alley is not actually open, I think, because that impressive entrance I do not see. Maybe it's just because I'm lost. It's probably because I'm lost. Okay, it's not really clearly marked, is it? But I believe this is where I'm supposed to be going. Find out in a second. Indeed it is. My first ever experience of this incredible land. Just not the same without all the Japanese people dressed up as Harry Potter. Just not the same. But I'm sure they come here. Watch my Universal vlog from Japan if you want to see what I'm talking about. Really shouldn't get distracted too much, as I have found the attraction. Got about 3 hours left, so. We'll also mention there's so many bars at this event that by this point of the night, you definitely have to watch where you're going, because the people that are drinking certainly have not. Or are not. Could not have timed that more perfectly, because Diagon Alley is just closed, or Gringotts. I guess this section is still open. One of my favorite ever bars was the Butterbeer bar, or the internal bar at Universal Studios Japan, and I have to say I might have another second favorite, because this is pretty awesome. If only I could drink a beer like I had when I was visiting that park. So like I said, Gringotts just closed, so because of that, timing was perfect. I got my one ride on it, and I don't think I really want another screen-heavy ride. The tech was pretty impressive, and the 3D actually, I normally don't like 3D attractions. This one was pretty good. I really should come back here in the daytime. I will say, while it is atmospheric, it's probably a little bit more impressive in the evening. I'm going to backtrack now. I'm going to go to one of the most popular mazes, because I hear that some people are summing up their night. So I'm going to go to the most popular one, or second most popular one this year, and that would be the Tooth Fairy. I've got 2.5 hours to get them all in, and I have a feeling I might have lucked out and done this the right way, because now, having done all the major attractions, outside the Mummy, I'm pretty satisfied with what I've done. Yeah, as far as Gringotts, it's just not for Vid and Voyage at all. The station area and everything leading up to that, and even like the set pieces within the ride, very impressive. But just didn't do that much for me. I guess you kind of have to know Harry Potter to get anything out of the story about what's going on there. But yeah, it's definitely more of a narrative-based version of a Harry Potter ride than what Forbidden Voyage is, which is just an all-out, just incredible ride, technologically wise, and also for thrills. Shepherd Ferry has made a lot of money off of the Obey franchise for what was just a street artist. But it is impressive. I will say that. Theme? Don't ask me. I think I have done well, as the Tooth Fairy is now a 10-minute wait.
96 or 45.
We're going in. This was the most popular maze when I got here, and now it's almost a walk-on. Showtime. So that's two houses down, two big ones, the Tooth Fairy and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. On average, about a 5-minute walk through these houses, although the Tooth Fairy was very short. I'd say it took about 3 minutes to go through. It was the highest gore quotient though, however. Like some of the set pieces in there and the poor people that were victim of the Tooth Fairy's revenge, like wow, they really got brutalized. That is a vengeful Tooth Fairy. In addition to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic slaughterhouse, you know, themed type of haunted house that you see kind of everywhere, except that Leatherface is throughout that particular house. Pretty good. I definitely enjoyed the set in that as well. There's a lot of similarities between these houses though that I'm noticing that I'm going to cover definitely later on in this video, if my focus will come in. Now I'm going to hustle because I really want to do Beetlejuice and the house on Haunting Hill, and then I'm going to come back and maybe do that area, but there's 4 houses in the back that might be relatively slower, I hope. Got an hour and a half left. We'll see how many I can get in. And can I get 6 houses in an hour? I don't think so. We'll see. We also did not see this earlier, but we're gonna go through Simpsons Land. It is getting increasingly difficult to get through the crowd as we are having a whirlwind end of the day here. There's 50 minutes to go. I've just done 3 houses in a row. I'm being called cabron all over the place because people are too scared and I'm here to enjoy it. And one thing about these mazes that I should say on a busier night is they're not scary for one particular reason. I find this bridge that goes across. There it is. I have 2 highlight houses to do here, which I'm on my way to now. I'm going to sum up a lot of this at the end of the day as I try to battle through and get everything in. We might be able to do it. So that's the end of a whirlwind night here, a whirlwind day, day 1 in Florida here, my first ever. I'm gonna say it right this time, Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. I believe it was actually known as Hollywood Horror Nights at one point. I believe that's what it was called. Notice the cinematic lighting. The one thing I noticed about this place is that, yeah, they really do have the lighting done by some experts to give you that extra sort of atmosphere throughout the park and throughout the houses as well, as you just see there. Yeah, really phenomenal. We're gonna go through one scare zone at the end here. I think it's all done, as it is now 2:01 and the houses are closed. I'm gonna sum up everything on my way out. I've got a lot to talk about as I haven't reviewed any of the houses. So enjoy the outro here as we exit the park. Bodies are being packed up for another day. Hollywood Horror Nights, Halloween Horror Nights. I said at the right time, finally, on the first try. I guess being at the event kind of sticks it in. So let's start off with the Bride of Frankenstein, which was actually one of the more impressive ones that I did overall in the day. Not the busiest maze, actually. I guess people aren't really into those old horror tropes as per that particular theme. I found it pretty impressive, to be honest, and it kind of set the tone for a lot of those soundstage haunts at the front of the park by Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. I noticed a bit of sameness when it came to those ones. You know, they are in sound stages, so if you look up, you can see the ceiling, which kind of takes away from that claustrophobic effect that I've gotten in other houses over this season. But as far as the atmosphere is concerned, the lighting and also the set design and everything, it's perfect. It's really world class. You're not going to get anything better than that. And I really should say that's an overarching statement for every haunted house in this event. When it comes to set design and atmosphere, really the best in the world. Just a little bit missing in that claustrophobic element too. The reason why as well is because, hey, you know, if I come here on a day when it wasn't Halloween weekend, I probably would have gotten a less crazy night, as it was sold out tonight. That being said, I still managed to get 7 of the 9 houses in. I didn't get to do the icons, and I didn't get to do the spy search. I'm going to remember it at some point because I'm going to look at my phone to remember all the haunts in this event. But I didn't do it, so there wasn't much to remember there. It was the lowest wait throughout the day or throughout the evening, and I did have an opportunity to wait for it at 25 minutes, which realistically would have been 10. I didn't know that at the time. Had I known that, and if I come back, I won't make that mistake again, and I'll just do the haunt and then move on. The icons being a new maze that's pretty popular, the wait for it was exorbitant. In fact, you needed a ticket just to get into the line. So because of that, I did give it a pass, mainly as well because I figured it'll probably be here for a couple of years as it's a new maze this year. And it's the icons of Universal, so I have a feeling that one might return. So I wanted to make sure I prioritized ones that I felt were bigger items or bigger houses that basically may have a chance of not coming back in the future. That being said, because of the way that I did the houses and then ended up ramming in a lot at the end there, I would say right now off the top that avoid the speed pass if you can. If you want the luxury of going into every haunted house without the wait for the majority of it, even on a night like tonight, the speed pass lines did not really exist, so you basically would walk straight in. But you're paying $200 American for that luxury, which for me is just too over the top. And if you're here like I have been since 2, then you're gonna have the time to get everything in anyway, so it is a kind of waste of money. As I noticed as well, the wait times were definitely not accurate throughout the evening. None of the wait times were actually what was posted. Some haunts that I went into were posted at 45-minute waits. The longest I waited was for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was about 40 minutes, 30 minutes that I waited for it. I will say it really wasn't worth the wait in comparison to some of the other haunts, especially towards the end. The puppeteering or capture the audience maze was incredible with the marionettes and just the atmosphere with the clothing and that whole, like, really, they got the claustrophobic atmosphere in that maze perfect, as well as the pumpkin patch maze too, which was really good and might have been my favorite maze, and I didn't even think I would even try it. I was gonna not prioritize that when I was getting a little bit hectic and wondering, hey, maybe I'm only gonna do 5 mazes. So glad I did. They were located right next to each other in 2 marquees, and they were probably 2 of the best mazes overall, I'd say, as far as pure scare value. Another maze that I almost missed was the Scare, or Welcome to Scare. What was it? Welcome to Carrie, Welcome to Scary, which was the haunted town theme haunted house. I didn't really get to enjoy it as much as I should have because the people in there were freaking out, and it was the only maze that I actually had like probably proper terror. Like, I didn't feel that, but like you could feel the effects on others that were going through it. They were definitely terrified, and it was great. It was so claustrophobic in there. A giant pumpkin head that attacks you towards the end of the haunt there too. Yeah, really high marks. Do not miss that haunted house if you're like not prioritizing it. It's the end of the year, so you probably won't even be able to prioritize any of them, not until next year. That being said, other mazes, obviously the last two that I did that I should cover are Beetlejuice and the House on Haunted Hill. The House on Haunted Hill, I'll say this, they show you a little trailer for the Netflix show, and these IP houses, it really kind of like worked as a precursor to what you were going to see in the house. So everything that you saw in the house was exactly the same almost as what was in the trailer. I enjoyed the pregnant woman with the thing going on in the womb at the end, but that was the showpiece at the end. It really kind of was underwhelming considering I'd heard so much about that maze and how good it was. I just considered it a walkthrough commercial for myself, to be honest. That being said, maybe from nostalgia factor, I liked it more, but Beetlejuice definitely was the best house to end my night, especially considering that I have such an affinity or a love for that film overall anyway, and I was just tempted to go back and try and actually see the film immediately after experiencing it. It's exactly what you would think. I did like the fact that you had levels in it where you kind of went down into the house, and with Beetlejuice introducing himself at the front and mocking the crowd and everything. That was world class. I definitely loved it. It was really, really good. A couple of the props I think weren't working, which seems weird for like a sold out evening. But you know, it is what it is. Nothing's perfect. There's going to be, even at a place like Universal, sometimes things don't quite work out as planned. But I'm sure that maze is coming back next year, and I'm sure they'll have that all ironed out next year anyway. Good scares in there. I will say though, because of how busy it was, that and because of the throughput, they just pump people through the houses, especially towards the end of the night. So at least you get them in, but they're not scary. I'll just say that right now. I wasn't really scared by anything, or if I sort of had a lighter temperament for that, I don't think I would really find it that scary. And there wasn't that many people that really were in sheer abject terror, as some of the houses that I've experienced in other events that are more independent earlier this season. Huge crowds, you got people all around, you know where the actors are coming out. There's also plexiglass in sections where they're going to actually scare you, so you kind of know where those areas are coming from. So if you're paying attention, you know what to expect. Wow. Doesn't matter though. Overall, it's exactly what I wanted. Maybe not the scariest event in the world, but certainly one of the best, if not the best. Now, I am going to Busch Gardens as well. I'm going to SeaWorld, so I do have a couple other haunts to do that might compete with this one. I doubt it. Just the scare zones alone, the lighting, the atmosphere. I was just flabbergasted when I first got in. So really, just for the atmospherics alone, I'd say it's probably the best I've ever experienced. And that lighting, it was just, if you're gonna have a couple drinks and hang out with people and have a great night out, this is the place to do it. Tons of adults at this event as well, which made me feel like a little not out of place here, as per some of the haunts that I've done earlier in the year, where it was just mainly kids at. Yeah, this is definitely an adult event, especially at this time of night, because it's almost getting on to 3. So yeah, get yourself down here if you can, say next year if you're into it, because it's totally worth it. A little on the pricey side if you do the speed pass, like I said, but I only paid around, I think it was $80 American for the evening itself, which I think is pretty reasonable for Universal considering how legendary this event is. And the 30th, I've come here for the 30th anniversary, so very glad that at least the first time that I've come here, it was during one of those Hallmark events, or at least, you know, it's 30th anniversary, so that's a Hallmark, isn't it? Alright guys, I'm gonna get about 2 hours of sleep, and then I'm gonna do another huge legendary attraction that's only a couple of years, I think it's only a year and a half old, and that is, I'm going to Hollywood Studios. I'm gonna finally experience Rise of Resistance for the first time, among other attractions at Hollywood Studios, which I haven't been since the last time I was at this park, almost 30 years back. If you want, guys, definitely watch that vlog. But for now, thank you for watching.